Hi everyone. I'm working on figuring out my best camera angle. I'm not gonna lie. For whatever reason, my apartment, it's just like, it's kind of hard to find a good spot. So this seems to work. I'm right by my light. I get to see the scenery, which is what I was trying to get in my last video, but it just doesn't work that way. It might have to be like an evening shot sometime if I ever do a message at night, but it's beautiful out my back patio, but I guess for now that's just mine to see. So yeah, welcome to the message today. First card that popped out is Protect Your Peace, Snakes in the Grass. I've recently been going through something too like that where I've been matching energy, which is not my style. I do not match energy commonly. And something feels like it's shifting. My guides today specifically said that as well. Like, it's time to put that to bed and it's time to get back to being who I am. So if you've been feeling tested lately, July was crazy energy. I know that my chart's going through a lot of shifts, so I try not to bring that in too much, but I've just kind of heard from everybody else that they felt the same. Everyone's felt exhausted. July was really, or June, excuse me, was really demanding. And so, I mean, it seems to be a collective thing as well, and even taking my like stuff out of it, but mainly, usually when I'm dealing with these types of situations, I kind of come back to myself as a whole of like, does getting upset with this person really serve me? Not usually. It doesn't usually. Usually they're not going to take it well. It's going to backfire. For whatever reason, me responding to someone being horrible or treating me poorly, I become the villain a lot of the time. And even though I'm comfortable with people being in their villain era, and I support you being the villain whenever you need to be the villain, you know, it's also important to pick the battles and choose when and when. And for a minute there, gosh, I was so sad the other day. And it was just like, am I that big of an asshole? Like, there's a new villain in my story every week. And when we would get to the bottom of it, it wouldn't even be about me. None of it was about me. And it was like 6, maybe 2 months of this. And I just finally got to the point of being like, this is too much. I'm not carrying this anymore. It's not my fault that all these people have these misconstrued ideas about how things work. And so, yeah, it feels like a general theme, at least that I've been going through, but I also feel that other people have been kind of like, why are things so complicated in general? Things shouldn't be this complicated. And it felt like we were going to get this step into energy where we were all getting a fresh start and even a boost, because there was a lull. Like, it felt hard. It felt like we were walking through water. That's how I would explain the energy the last little while. Walking through water, no matter how hard you're trying, it's still hard, it's still taxing, no matter what new take you have on it or how often you could be like, oh, I'm gonna have a fresh take on today. You got up and you were walking in water anyways. And so it gets tiring and it wears on your spirit. So the good news is what I'm hearing from my guides is that the energy is shifting this evening. I felt a shift today. The emotions of all of that weight where I just kept being strong and kept trying to show people the right way and kept trying to show people the right way. And I won't lie. Eventually I didn't do it the right way. And eventually I was about to catch a body, to be honest. Not for real, but situations that I needed to remove myself from, but I still openly addressed publicly so that people could know, like, FAFO. That happens in life. When you're skirting corners or you're trying to lie or manipulate things so that you don't have to hold up your end of things, that's not good business. And it seems like we're shifting to a point where justice is coming out, and that justice card just popped in my mind. Justice is coming out, and it's taking what we brought to the conversation and what they brought to the conversation, and moreover, the intention of why people were doing what they were doing. I feel like it was a season where people were being able to show their cards, because a lot of the times when I come into someone's life, I'm their karma angel. There is something on the line, whether that's the next 5 years of their life or an injury, or it's kind of crazy, but depending on how bad they mishandle me For a long time, I let people really mishandle me poorly because I was a people pleaser. Basically, if they mishandled me to an extreme, I pray for those people. Like, these people that have done me so wrong, I'm kind of scared for them. Because it's not pretty what I've seen in the aftermath of after people mishandle me. And so recently in my last video, I was talking about how cycles are going through so much quicker anymore. So I had a new villain every week. And that means I just cycled through a lot of other people's lessons that much quicker. So I don't know if that's beneficial towards me in some way, but it's almost like instead of like you're playing a softball game and you play every week, you go, like I went and played a softball tournament with my people whose paths I was supposed to crash, I guess. Crash feels appropriate because they didn't like a lot of it. A lot of them did not end up well, and things were not resolved, or nasty words have been said, or people have chosen to treat me more poorly because of their actions to already treat me poorly and me call them out or disagree with them. So if you have people in your life who insist on treating you poorly, if you don't support everything they do, it kind of comes down to, when I say don't support, is like, do you see the intention there? Is it a selfless intention? Is it manipulative? Are they taking advantage of people? Is it a lack type of mindset? Like some of them, these situations had to do with money, and these people being like, well, they don't deserve this and they don't deserve that. And then me bringing up something where it's like, this person definitely doesn't because I did it all on my own. And them chirping and being like, that's what I'm talking about with all these other people. And I'm like, it's not even in the same stratosphere of the same. And because I didn't I didn't agree with that person, apparently they don't want anything to do with me, which I don't really care. Sorry, just saw my dirty drawer. I don't really care because these people weren't in my life. Like, I don't care about these people. The way I have taken people out of my life and put arm's distance between me and almost everyone in my life is pretty cool. I'm pretty damn proud of myself for saying, like, I matter most, and if these people can't give me back what I'm giving them, great. These people are at a place where I can relate to it. I've been there somewhat similarly before, where I can't see. It's like you're in the water and you're looking up and you think you know what everything looks like, but then when you pull yourself out of the water, everything becomes clear. And it's that Neptune type of energy, to be honest. It's funny that that's the visual that I just got. And these people aren't seeing things correctly. And it's somewhat isn't their fault that they're going about things incorrectly, because you can't do what you don't see, you don't know what you don't know, that type of thing. And in any case, they were given an opportunity to see clearly. And a few people did with my situations. And it was even hard because these people I'd come to like have camaraderie with or enjoy them, even if I wasn't a friend or someone close to them. It was like, I'm enjoying you, and then it's like something happened and it was misconstrued, and I was like, that's not, I couldn't have set that person up if I tried. And moreover, I was trying to meet that person halfway on something I know they don't like to do. And if you have to ask people in your life to do the things that you need them to do, they're not a good fit. They're not a good fit for you, whether that comes to work, relationships, parents, property managers, like whatever it is. If people aren't a good fit for you and you're finding that you're constantly having to politely ask them to do something, and even if you do politely ask, they don't do it, or it takes them a while to get to it, or if you politely ask, they treat you poorly because you politely asked for them to do something that is an expectation of them to do. Gosh, just the moreover, like when you look at this thing from an upside perspective, what is going on? What are these people thinking? Why should you be picking up slack? Or why should you have to ask politely? Why should you have to tiptoe around for the things in your life to work the way that makes sense? You shouldn't have to. The next card that popped out, that's been in my hand this whole time I've been rambling, sorry, is co-creating, doing the hard work. And that's one thing I've been feeling as well, is, you know, when you're in it and you're in these situations and you're in the matrix so hard, and it's like, I don't feel like I've even been able to like get a proper sign in a while. My guides told me recently that like my signs aren't going to feel as special for a while, and that shows me that it's important to celebrate the small things, notice the small things, be on the lookout, be aware, and be open to things, versus being like, well, it's just not as magical as it used to be, it must be gone. I think you would go through ups and downs in things, and I went through a moment where I really needed to believe that there was something on my side, and it showed up in ways and signs that were pretty crazy. I wish I would have kept a journal about all the signs and all the ways and all the synchronicities, and all, like, music was talking to me, the TVs were talking to me. I would say something and the TV would say the exact same sentence with me, and that happened hundreds of times. And those are just a few examples of like, this is really magical. Okay, magical, I know. And now we've reached this lull of like, it's not going to be as magical right now, but it's important that we stay steady. So we've been on the path. We know this is the path. We've gotten sign after sign saying, go this way, go this way, go this way. And now we're not quite going to get those. So there's a level of trust that you're being asked to have with the experience that you've put in. One of my favorite sayings, and one of the things that helped me through my life that I see now that I didn't realize I was doing in the moment, is basically, you've got to believe in something that you can't see right now. You've got to believe that something is building that you can't see right now. And there's something so magical in creating that. That has to do with your neural paths, and that has to do with the quantum field, that has to do with spirit listening to you, that has to do with free will and God deciding what to put on your path next. Co-creating is something, when you're doing it out of faith, and maybe faith, people don't like the word faith because it's religious based, but we'll just say belief, having a belief that this is leading where you're expecting to lead, and you're not getting these signs anymore. You're on the trail and you're passing these openings, and you're like, is that my opening? Is that my opening? Oh man, did I miss my opening? And you're not. Trust your gut. Trust your instincts more than ever. Keep talking to the universe. Keep talking to yourself. Keep listening to your body. And doing the work right now is not going to feel like as cool as it did before. I don't really know another word to say. So, there's a reason that we've been put through somewhat of this like rapid fire tests. And part of me also wants to believe that it isn't even, which is hard, and sometimes I get so frustrated. It does bring up this somewhat of a why me, but why do I have to be everyone else's lesson? Why do I have to be the oracle who went through all the hard stories to be able to have the knowledge and have the skills and have the wherewithal and have the discernment to be able to help all these people who treat me like crap? That doesn't seem like it's right, but I've had plenty of conversations with God, and that is exactly right. So unfortunately, that, my friend, is exactly what I'm here to do. And the rapid fire thing is cool. Maybe I get a month to like finally start working on my projects, and maybe I graduated to a point where I can get through things quicker, and I don't know. We'll see. But yes, I got cleansing. Oh, my fingers are all dirty. Sorry. Playing in the dirt yesterday. Ooh, discovery. That's what I'm talking about. It's like having this blind faith right now is actually more important than when you were getting all those signs or whatever part of your path you're on, when it felt like, yeah, I know this is right. This is the understanding. Like, I felt this in my life, is at one point God and I were aware that God would step out of my life, and I would have to come back to him, and I would have to come back and fight tooth and nail through some of the worst stories you've ever heard. I could be on worst ex, worst roommate, worst teacher, worst coach, worst. I could be on all of those shows, like Netflix. Come find me. I have stories for days. But through that, and the way that it tore at my soul, it tore at me so hard that I had no choice but to get myself up, put my boots back on, lace them up, pull my overalls up, pull my tools and put them in my chest, put them in my belt, And without that, I would have lived a pretty normal, shallow, okay life. I was still going to go through these trials if I found God or not. If I didn't find God, there's a road and a plan that we all agree to, that maybe I don't find God, and maybe I become a very tortured soul, and maybe I don't come back, but I don't believe that's true. I believe we all go back to God or the universe, or become all, whatever that is. But without that, without the discovery, without the awareness, without me deciding, this doesn't feel like this is right. Like, where's God been? What is that feeling I felt when I was younger? Well, that other people felt as well too. My nickname was Smiley in my neighborhood. Every person and parent was always like, "Whoa, your daughter's just a ray of sunshine," and I was, and then I wasn't, and then I was a ray of darkness, and building that up has led me to a point where discovery doesn't scare me anymore. It's made me into an oracle, into a warrior, into an Amazon. I'm 6 foot tall, okay? I'm an Amazon, okay? But discovery is one of the most beautiful things, because just because you were handed a cookie, it doesn't mean you have to accept the cookie for what it is. You know, you could ask more questions. What is this? How is this made? What is the science behind this cookie? So, and it shows, look at that, we were talking about the path. Look how clear that path is. Look how obvious that path is. You might be just around the corner, about to just get onto this path, and it's like, oh babe, we were doing this right the whole time. So discover the treasures within and follow your passion. I know that I've been putting off a lot of projects too, so June, I bartend in the World Cup, or me, or us all out, man. We had to be open all the time, and I'm still coming back from an Achilles surgery earlier this year, so wow. I loved it though. It's been so fun. I really think it's like healing the planet. The cleansing card, I didn't read the bottom of it, so see how you have both globes? Oh, we have globes in all of them. Something's coming full circle. See the globe here? The globe here? See the globe on the back of the card? Something's coming full circle for sure today. Cleanse says, cleanse your mind and spirit, remove the negative energy. Yep, so whatever trials you've been going through, which if my stories resonated with you or not, that's fine. I will be someone who always somewhat shares my personal stories, because usually it helps people, but I know it's not for everybody. So the last card, yeah, exactly what I was talking about. That grit, baby, the grit. Determination. Face challenges with determination. You can achieve anything. So I love that. I think, honestly, I didn't expect to read it. I didn't expect to just channel, but I kind of just channeled that. That's not common for me. So that's cool. Let's pull a moon card, and then we'll pull a spirit animal card. I'll let you get on with your day. It's pretty quick, pretty to the point today, huh? Just holding these cards feel good. My astrology today told me to not go to work, basically. So switch shifts, thankfully. And my ankle told me that as well. Trust what you feel, not what you think. My astrology has been ridiculously on for about 1.5 years. If I go against it, shit don't flow. I sound crazy, but at one point, maybe I won't tell this story, but I was on the worst trip of my entire life, and I've had some bad trips. This one, I thought I was gonna, and I mean like trip across America. It was so crazy and so intense and so stupid and so scary. And the night before we go, my tarot says, don't bust trips. And I could have gone and done what I was gonna do. I had a way to get cheap tickets, and I had a cheap hotel, and that was gonna be fine. I was gonna go solo. In the end, I decided not to. And I looked at that and I thought, I can't base my life off of astrology. This is ridiculous. What am I doing? I should have listened, because it got real bad. It got real bad. And I'm surprised we didn't go to jail 2 or 3 times. I'm surprised I didn't get stuck across America, the other side of the United States. Yeah. So, I do trust my intuition that deeply. I do trust my intuition that deeply now. It led me that way, that path of discovery. This, and now that I have this buddy that like communicates with me, and it hasn't always been this way. It's happened mostly after my dog passed away. So I had some intuition and some really cool things happen after my grandpa passed away, and I know he's always hanging out watching over me, and I know my pups is too. It's just, it's interesting when you decide to pay attention how cool this and like interactive this experience is. We think it just happens and we just exist. That is the biggest lie I've ever heard. As soon as I decided to be like, no, I'm gonna start seeing if I can adjust things. I'm gonna start being cooperative or not cooperative, or not deciding to be part of this experiment or that experiment. Shifts on shifts on shifts on shifts, and then lessons and adjustments, and then uncomfortability, because I didn't expect it to work as well as it did. And once it did, I kind of can't believe I kind of live a life I love right now. And yeah, I've gone into a place where I don't know if you guys resonate with this or not, but I've been through so many isolations that it's a small circle, and they say that's great. And I have hundreds of people out there that I love, that love me, but it's just not the ones, you know. And I've always had trouble with relationships. People just see my light and they want to take it, and they want to put it in a box and keep it under their bed. And I'm almost not saying that metaphorically, I'm almost saying that very real. So life's crazy, but you can stop participating in these things. And the biggest thing I learned, somebody out there needs to hear this, because this just hit me like a bag of I almost said something really bad right there. A bag of something really hard. Sorry, and I'm kind of dyslexic, so that's gonna happen. If you didn't have anything worth taking, people wouldn't try to take from you. If you weren't valuable, people wouldn't be threatened by you. If you weren't inspirational, if you weren't talented, if you didn't have all the cool energy, if I didn't shine as bright as I do, even without God stepping out of my life. I said the sunshine was gone, but in my astrology chart, basically it's all hell, but at least I get to be pretty. So that's cool. It's all hell. I'm targeted, but I get to be pretty. I don't know how I feel about that someday. It's a blessing. I appreciate my DNA, but it makes me a target, and my energy makes me a target. My energy is huge. So the other day I'm getting on the highway, and this diesel pulls up close to me, and we're merging, and I'm like, damn, I feel that energy. And I look at it, and it's a diesel carrying a diesel carrying a diesel carrying a truck. And I start laughing so hard in my car. Because that's me. That's who I am walking in a room. And for the first time in my life, I felt what other people feel. And it makes people uncomfortable, and it makes people want to swing, and it makes people insecure. And I'm just trying to exist. So that's sad. Sorry, it's just sad. I need a moment of silence for my life, and all the haters and all the bullies and all the people who have like targeted me, and it still happens all the time. It's like, I thought this was gonna stop. I thought we reached a level where I don't have to do that anymore, and that's not real. I just need to handle it better, and now I'm smarter than everybody, so that's fine. I'm still human. I'm still gonna mess up and yell at people and do stuff like that and participate in their stupid schemes, but if you feel targeted, it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because there's some things that are really right with you. And what God has given you, or what you have given you, or whatever plan you decided to do with God before you got here, you're important. Being important is hard. And I wasn't taught that I was important. I was taught that I was a nuisance, and my sunshine was agitating to people who had set hearts. And Something shifted in me when I finally took accountability and ownership of the fact that if I fully encompass who I am, that scares the crap out of people. And that means I'm pretty freaking powerful. So if you resonate with that part of this story, I want you to take a different perspective of it, or I want you to kind of step away and have a bird's eye view that people don't give a crap about things that aren't valuable. It's kind of a cool realization. And then we got the bold moon. So it says the cardinal moon, which is the top crest. Look, these cards are so beautiful. I don't know how well they're going to show up, but they're just so simple. But like, the way they make the art shine. I love art, so I love that stuff. But be bold and make the first move. And it's time to move out of these people's games. It's time to move into energy that you are in control of, that you, back to your plans, back to you, back on path, back on path. Be bold. More circles. I mean, I know I got the moon card. I know, but still. So I love this. Okay, very cool. It's coming around. You know, I want to do these in a way where I'm not always telling my own story, but that's going to be hard to do because I'm so intuitive and my stuff is so important. I think people do learn from me. I can't help it if this is the energy that everyone's dealing with as well. I always wondered about that. I wondered if energy workers jump online and then they listen to someone and then, well, people that are fakes, and then they say their own message, because some of the times they lap. The story that I told yesterday, 2 of my closest guides said the same messages, but I hadn't watched them yet. So sometimes it's the same message, you just need a different messenger or whatever the case. So it's interesting that this is how this came out, because this is not a read for me. They know this is not a read for me. Okay. Coyote spirit. Trust in divine detours. Doesn't this feel like such a journey we're on? I love this. Coyote spirit. I could see him on the top of this one being like, oh. So, all right, kids, that's the reading for the day. I love you. I hope you're doing great. Keep your head up. I need to keep my head up. I needed to be reminded of that myself because I was crying. And you can only be strong for so long sometimes. It's okay if you feel emotional. There's a few things going on us to make us feel emotional. But after you cry, and after you wear your comfy pajamas and take a bath or do whatever you do to feel better, sit out on your patio and rub your foot in the ground, pick your head up. You are valuable. And it's time you recognize that and start coming and living from that place of understanding.